Welcome to the Branding Room Only podcast, where we share career stories, strategies, and lessons learned on how industry leaders and influencers have built their personal brands. Now, let's get started with the show. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Branding Room Only. It's Paula Edgar, your host, and today we're going to dive into a concept that I believe can transform how you navigate your personal and professional journey, which is creating your personal board of directors. So many of you probably have heard of this term, but having a personal board of directors is a powerful way to both build and sustain a strong personal brand. Similar to the way companies have boards to guide them, you are essentially assembling a group of your trusted advisors and stakeholders to support, challenge, and guide you. And I want to explore what this looks like and why it is so essential. So the first part is understanding what exactly is a board of directors. You should be thinking about this as your own team of advisors, people who care about your success and are willing to invest their time and their energy into helping you achieve your goals. Your board is usually made up of mentors, peers, industry experts, supporters, sometimes family members, sometimes folks who you don't actually know, but you are emulating and thinking, what would they do? And all of those folks who are providing guidance, feedback, and connections, as well as other things. And the key in selecting these individuals who will be on your board of directors is to think about their diverse perspectives, their experiences, and their expertise, how it connects with your life and your goals, and helping to enrich your decision-making and expanding your horizons, which essentially are the keys to having a strong goal. So when you think about what I call the recruitment phase, right, is thinking about what are some key qualities in board members that you are looking for. It's important to look for those people who embody the key qualities that you need: integrity, commitment, ability to communicate, empathy, drive, who have exhibited success in their areas or who have learned from them and are working in tandem. You know, another place for the board of advisors is really having peers who are along the journey with you as well. I really like to think of it in terms of diversity, right? Folks who have been there and done that, folks who are trying to get there and do that, and people who are in the space and doing it alongside you and able to give you that feedback. When you think about those traits, you want to just make sure that they're genuinely invested in your success, and then they can provide the support you need. All of them don't have to be on board and fully engaged all the time, but you need to be able to know what you can tap into them for. And it's important to also balance professional and personal advice in terms of thinking about the key qualities. You want to have people on your board of directors who can offer insights into both your career and your personal life. That way, any decisions and, thinking about your trajectory will lead to a more holistic way and well-rounded way of approaching your branding and continuing to iterate. The other part about this is you want to set clear expectations and boundaries, right? So it's important to set those boundaries to make sure that you both have an understanding of what you need from each other, right? And having a productive relationship. You should be communicating your needs and goals openly, and you should be establishing guidelines for how you'll want to interact and collaborate. The clear communication is really the key for everything. And it fosters a healthy dynamic and helps prevent misunderstandings. And this is huge. For example, I have someone who's on my board of directors who is fantastic, but the only time I can access them is early in the morning. And I found that it's important that when we are having conversations, or if I have a challenge or an idea, that I bring as much as possible to what I thought about it so that we can have a very productive meeting, because they are really strategic when they are given an assignment. I have other folks who are in my board of directors who I just go to help me to sort of brainstorm and ideate. So really thinking about what are the skills that the folks in your board of directors you want them to have, and then starting the recruitment process from there, but setting those expectations and boundaries, right? And this is different than how I sometimes look at mentoring and sponsorship. There's some overlap here, but for this, I think you want to say to them, I would really love for you to be a member of my board of directors, right? You want to say, I feel like, and because of the relationship that we build or are building, that I think your feedback and your engagement will be helpful for my success. And I hope that it can be reciprocal. Speaking of reciprocal, reciprocity is the key to maintaining healthy, productive relationships with the members of your personal board of directors. You should be offering value in return for the guidance and support that they have given you with guidance and support for their own goals and contributing to their success. That whatever the saying is about rising tides raises all ships. It's like if we're all in this together, everybody gets better, right? The mutual benefit strengthens the individual bonds and the group bonds and makes those relationships more rewarding for everyone involved. So thinking about that. But going back to communication, one strong thing that we talk about is the role of your board of advisors when it comes to feedback. One of the primary benefits of having a personal board of directors is the opportunity to receive valuable feedback, right? Feedback is crucial because it helps you to see blind spots, refine your strategies, and ultimately improve your personal brand. And if you have really good people who are on your personal board of directors, they can offer you honest, constructive criticism and insights that you may not get from other people or elsewhere. The key is you want to make sure that you're creating an environment and a culture in your relationship where open communication is encouraged and that feedback is a two-way street, because sometimes their role is to give you really challenging feedback. And, if, for example, that you are, resistant or not, encouraging them giving it, it can hamper the relationship. So just be thoughtful about that. But you definitely want people to tell you what they think. Because I am a solo entrepreneur and, with my business in terms of speaking and consulting, I work in a lot of silos with my clients. I don't have, a full team that I do things with. And so for me, my personal board of directors is really, really important to gathering feedback about how I'm doing on a consistent basis. And, I think it was about a year ago, I actually sent out a personal, like 360 type thing to a bunch of my friends, colleagues, clients, and the people on my personal board of directors. And it was anonymous to enable them to give really good and robust feedback. And I was so happy that I did that because it helped me to make sure that the messaging that I wanted to be out there was consistent with what they were receiving and experiencing. And also, it helped me to understand some places in which I can get better, right? None of us is perfect. All of us need to get better. And may not like to hear some of the feedback. It's important for us to receive it. So that is a huge part of having a personal board of directors. Another piece is for emotional support and resilience, right? As you build your personal board of directors, you want to recognize that having emotional support is huge. These can be individuals who can be your cheerleaders and your supporters during challenging times, as well as good times, which we'll talk about next. But that helps you to build resilience and have a shoulder to cry on or shoulders to cry on, and folks who will hear you and have an ear for you when we need that, especially recently in post-pandemic. That's so necessary to help you build that resilience and maintaining confidence in your journey, because with their encouragement, right, you can face setbacks that you may experience and turn those into opportunities for growth. But similar to the way in which you need folks for emotional support and resilience when there's challenges, you also want your personal board of directors to be there for when you are sharing joy. Joy, for those of you who don't know, is one of my words of the year from my goal setting session, which you should take a look at because goal setting can happen all year round. But when you think about this, joy is such an important part of our lives, right? If we don't tap into what makes us joyful and brings us happiness, we're not really living, right? And so celebrating successes with your board of directors is not only rewarding, right? Is it exciting to do, but it also is essential for maintaining your motivation and building those strong relationships. So often folks will talk about people connecting with them and then not sharing back how something went, right? So you want to make sure you close the loops and that you are telling people about successes and joys that you've had. And when you share your achievements, you essentially are creating a positive narrative, right? What is that? That reflects your personal brand's values and vision and enables them to have a stronger view of what it is and to help you as you go forward. your board can be there to help you amplify your narrative, whatever that is, which will then hopefully, right, ensure your success, ensure that you are recognized and appreciated both inside your personal board of directors circle and outside of it. Another way that I love to use my personal board of directors, which you should know, one of the stakeholders that I didn't mention was also folks who you may want to engage and pay, right? So, like on my personal board of directors, my coach, my coaches are also a part of my personal board of directors as well because they know me, they understand what my business and personal and professional visions are and enable me to stay the course. And so they are the key people who I look to when I want to have feedback or have ideas, et cetera. And so I thought about that as I want to talk to you about workshopping ideas, because this is the place where I use my personal board of directors and specifically the coaches on it for. So workshopping ideas is an important benefit of having a personal board of directors. Brainstorming with your board allows you to tap into a wealth of knowledge and creativity, and also to sort of see what you might be missing, right? This diversity of input and perspectives can help you like create innovation, solutions, and perspectives that you may not have considered in whatever idea or thoughts that you have. And similar to feedback that's received, you want to create a safe space where all ideas are welcome. There's no stupid ideas, and you want to hear the full breadth of their feedback or ideas that they have so that you're building trust and, again, that innovation. And it's a chance for you to put out things that are like, your wild, audacious goals or something that you think might be, out of this world, but they then tell you that, yeah, it's doable if X, Y, and Z, right? When you are able to test out those concepts and get feedback before you implement, you can make sure that ideas you have align with your personal brand. And you can also make sure that there's nothing that you're missing. So, for example, one of the members of my personal brand, I call her the general counsel of my personal board of directors, I should say. I was going to appear on a podcast. A podcast was a little bit of it had a racy topic. I won't go into what it is, but she essentially, I went to her and said, "What do you think about this?" And she was like, "Absolutely not. That is not aligned with your brand. It's not something you should do." And, while I think I already knew the answer, it was helpful to have somebody to go to say, "What do you think about this?" And to hear and have someone really invested in my success to give me that feedback, right? So really important. The other thing is I love having a personal board of directors to amplify my message. I use this for my social media. I use this for just in general about who I am, what I do, what I'm looking to do. So you should be using your board of directors to help you amplify your message. And by leveraging the networks that they have and the different social media or other platforms that they have, your board members can help you to expand your reach and your visibility and ultimately your success. Essentially what you're doing is you build credibility and trust through your personal board of directors, right? Their brand and their alignment with you, and they're amplifying your message or talk or referring you or promoting you comes with a seal of approval because they're doing it. And that can help you to build and grow more. Right? When your board members, they endorse your work and share your message, it adds weight to your brand and it helps you to reach a wider, more diverse audience and hopefully help you to reach your goals faster. Speaking of that, connecting to opportunities. A board of directors is instrumental in connecting you to new opportunities, whether it's through networks and introductions. Your board can open doors that you may not have been able to access on your own, and they can leverage their own boards and their own networks to help you to leverage your own. You may know that I am a part of a network called Council of Urban Professionals. It's an organization, and I was one of their fellows. And I always say with this network, which many of my personal board of directors are a part of, that I am two people away from something that I need. And that's a powerful thing, right? And to be able to leverage these networks and their networks to your benefit, and also, again, having it be reciprocal, right? So it's important to think about them to open doors that you may not have been able to access on your own, and to align any opportunities that you may be asking for or that they hear about and know about with your personal brand goals, right? They also can help you to evaluate potential opportunities that come your way and ensure, like I said before, with the person I was talking about before, make sure that they're in line with your vision and your values and what your brand is. Another piece of this is using LinkedIn, right? Number one, to making sure you're connected to your members of your personal board of directors on those platforms so that you can help to promote what they're sharing, and also to be thoughtful and strategic about who they're connected to and how it can be supportive to you and you can be supportive to each other, right? It helps, especially LinkedIn, helps to facilitate maintaining relationships. Like people can do a dual connection via LinkedIn in a LinkedIn message. They can refer you to expertise. You can look for advice. You can showcase your thought leadership, and they can amplify your message, like sharing, commenting on it. So make sure your brand has a bigger audience. There are two more things that I want you to think about before I share with you a new acronym. It's important to have a diverse board. Your personal board of directors should not be people who are all just like you. You want to include people who are from cultural backgrounds that are different, who've had different life experiences, as I mentioned before, folks who are more senior than you, folks who are more junior than you, people who are in your industry, out of your industry, people who you engage by hiring them. There's a lot of different ways to shape it, but I'm encouraging you to actually start writing out like who's currently on your personal board of directors. And, I went to a program once where we also not just laid out who was on the board of directors, but also what is the primary thing that you look to them for. Because one, it can be that you are not necessarily evaluating the members of your board properly, right? You want to look at actual diversity, right? Are you having a split in terms of gender and age and race and, right, and parenting status and childcare? Like all of those things are helpful. But you also want to think about how they add value and how you connect with them, right? Your board should evolve as your needs and goals change. So, like any other board, you want to think about their terms and assessing how effective they are, and thinking about whether you need to bring in new people and need to perhaps make others into advisory status, right? Your board should be growing with you. And there may be some people who will always be on your board. Like, for example, my husband, my father, they are always going to be members of my board of directors because they are stakeholders by contract and by blood. But there are other folks who kind of come in and out, or maybe are stronger and sometimes and not in the others. But you should be thinking about it. And I know you're probably thinking, well, how many people should be on your board of directors? And I really think that that's up to you. But I like to aim for 10 or 11. I have more on mine, but not everybody's going to be primary all the time, which is why you should be thinking about the board as who is maybe moved to advisory, who is not going to be in the everyday or the, multiple times in, a month or a year, but who, that you can tap into no matter what. No matter what, you should be thinking, okay, who is in my squad? Who are my peeps? And how can I continue to leverage them? And how can they continue to leverage me? Keeping them updated, et cetera. Keeping up with their updates, asking how you can be supportive to them, in addition to making ask about how they can help you. That reciprocity is huge. So in wrapping up, I wanted to give you an acronym. I like acronyms to help you adults to learn better. And I call the acronym Paula's Board. And just think of it as my advice for putting together your personal board of directors. So for the P, it's providing diverse perspectives. You want to choose board members who offer a range of insights and advice and who literally are diverse. The first A is align with your goals. You want to ensure that your board understands and supports the goals and aspirations that you have. The U is utilize feedback effectively. Right? Act on the feedback constructive that you received, so that you continue to get better. The L is leverage their networks, right? One of the reasons why they are stakeholders is to be able to make sure that your success is also their success. And that means that whether it's asking or accepting their offer, that you are leveraging the networks that they have. The second A is amplify your message. You want to work with your board to spread your message. What is your brand message? Are they introducing you to folks? Do they know your elevator pitch? Are they sharing your website or your LinkedIn? Are you able to quickly share with them posts that you've made that you want engagement for? There's lots of different ways for them to amplify. And then similarly, this aligns with this. The S is support and celebrate. You want to engage with people who are going to genuinely support your success. I saw something recently that says, it was Oprah Winfrey in conversation. in a fireside chat with Gail King, who's her best friend. And basically, the part of the conversation that really resonated for a lot of people was Oprah saying that you cannot have a friend or really a stakeholder, and in this case for you all, a member of your personal board of directors who exhibits any jealousy. You want someone who is supportive of you and you want to be supportive of them, which brings to the B in board, which is build trust and transparency. You want to foster honest communication. You want to be vulnerable as much as you can and let people know where you are and what's going on with your brand so that they can connect with you deeper. The O is optimized decision making, right? You want to use the board to help you to make strategic decisions about your personal and professional journey and ultimately your personal brand. The A is for adapt and evolve. You want to be open to adapting strategies, thoughts, platforms, et cetera, based on insights that you get from your personal board of directors. This is huge. Don't grow if we're standing still or we're stuck. You want to have a growth mindset, and that means being adaptive to and hearing feedback that can help you to learn, grow, move, and shift. The R in board is recognize and reward contributions. You want to appreciate your board's efforts. I always say there's never enough thank yous in the world. Every single time somebody does something, whether they know it or not, I am in gratitude about it because it collectively helps us to feel and be better when we are acknowledged, even if we're not doing it for that acknowledgement. Finally, the D in the Paula's board acronym is drive personal and professional growth. Focus on your continuous learning and professional development with your board support. Ask for the suggestions on books, podcasts, articles they have read, places you should be. People like that is how you're growing and you're using them to advance your mission, like a business board. And if you think about this, like creating and nurturing your personal board of directors, it's a process that requires time and effort and consistency, but the rewards that you get from doing it are invaluable. So, like everything else, I encourage you to do, start identifying the individuals who are on your board now or who you want to be on your board and start to build those relationships today. I would love to hear your feedback on this episode and to tell me if you have a personal board of directors. Feel free to shoot me an email at info@paulaedgar.com or connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message. But I want to hear how you're actually taking this advice. I think very deeply about this. This is one of the keys to my success is having a personal board of directors. So as always, thank you for joining me on this episode of Branding Room Only. I hope that you found these insights on building a personal board of directors valuable and you are inspired and ready to take action. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with others who might benefit it, aka everyone. And until next time, stand by your brand. Bye, y'all.